Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and let's talk about Otto. Yeah, the company Uber bought that currently got them sued over it. Otto, a couple things about Otto before we get started. First of all, Otto technically no longer exists. Their divisions have been absorbed into Uber. They are just Uber now. I think they're called Uber ATC or something like that. I don't know. But Otto officially no longer exists. But you know what also doesn't currently exist are their autonomous driver trucks. Oh, okay, I said that wrong. They're autonomous trucks. Yeah, driverless trucks. This was what Otto was making before Uber bought them. For a ridiculous sum of money. Uber bought Otto for almost $700 million because they made a couple of driverless trucks that drove cross-country without a driver. Which, I'm not going to lie, was kind of impressive. But Uber is dismantling that service, or at least they seem to have silently discontinued it. Now, I don't know how much of a future Uber planned for these driverless trucks. According to the news article I read, Uber pretty much just wanted the technology. They didn't care about the trucks. They didn't care about getting into the cargo business. They just never did. And one person was quote saying, Kalanick would have to be a bigger idiot than I thought if he continued making driverless trucks. That is an interesting quote. And I kind of would like to ask, why would he be an idiot for doing this? Because here's the thing. I talk to Uber passengers because I drive them around. And once in a while, the autonomous vehicle topic will pop up. Now, and even once in a blue moon, someone will be very intrigued by the idea. Like, yeah, assume we only have drivers. Well, the cars will be driving us around. And they're kind of excited about that. They're usually very young. But most people I talk to are not interested in cars without a driver because they like talking to the driver. They like asking them how their day is. What's it like driving for Uber? And I have even driven a couple people around, like they're going on the first date and they're talking about how nervous they are and the story about how they asked the girl out. And it's cute. It's really fun. But the public is not so much interested in these driverless cars as Uber is. And there's some debate how much the public would actually use them if they were the only option available. I don't know. I just don't. But you know who is interested in driverless trucks? Stores. Companies. Companies are always trying to save a buck wherever they can. And they would greatly like a delivery truck that does not require a driver. More so, since Otto had a truck that actually worked, and it accomplished a couple country-wide trips without the aid of a driver, that is something companies would want. More so, since companies want it, if Uber needed more investment money, they could go to the companies that want some of these trucks where, hey, in exchange for getting some of these trucks on like a free basis, when they're finished, they will invest in the program. And Uber even has an app designed specifically for these driverless trucks, calling a truck to help you move your stuff. Not a lot of people know this app exists, but it does, and not anyone can sign up for it. Like, you need to... I mean, drivers can still sign up for it, but this is where the driverless vehicle would come in the most handy for companies that would actually invest in it being built. The public is not going to invest in the driverless cars. Only Uber is, and thus Uber is wasting a lot of their cash flow, especially since the future of those cars is so uncertain with the Google thing. So that begs the question, why did Uber discontinue these trucks? Why have they taken them largely off the road? Personally, and I have no proof, none whatsoever. Paraphrasing that. No proof. App speculation only. App speculation only. No proof of this. I'm going to state it anyway. I think the trucks looked a lot more like Google's initial driverless car plans. I'm dead serious. I think that if those cars were still on the road and Google had the court subpoena one of those trucks, which is funny, the idea of subpoenaing a truck, that they would look at the technology driving that truck and realize it was a lot similar to the Google patents than the driverless cars are. Because here's the thing. What's going to hold up the court a little bit is that the evidence against Uber is pretty damning so far. But when you crack open the hood of the driverless cars that Uber has on the road, there are some major differences between that and the Google patents. The design is very similar, but the engine looks a little different, or the sensors, or whatever it is. Still functions the same, looks different enough. That could give Google a problem, although I think Google does have some smoking guns that, you know, they haven't showed us, and Uber is just so generally disliked. Well, anyway, but I suspect that if someone subpoenaed this truck, they would open it up, and then it would look a lot similar to the patents. Therefore, Uber, while they've been dragging their feet, getting the judge in San Francisco, the patents and the files and stuff, they have been taking these trucks off the road. They're probably even dismantling them right now, just to try to cover up the evidence. That is my personal suspicion. While I don't think Uber necessarily thought of their future as in delivering food, I mean, you know, food to the grocery stores, of course, there was a good reason to keep the driverless trucks in production and to focus on developing them. Those were probably the closest thing Uber has been developing that had the best shot of paying off first. And they've discontinued it. So why? Because my question is, if Uber is going to kill the one thing that's closest to earning them a profit, either Kalanick is a bigger idiot than I thought he was, or he has something to hide. I don't know. What do you folks think? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.